everybody, and welcome to Chip in a Chair, your one-stop spot for everything poker. Today, my little railbirds, I want to talk to you a little bit about the question that continually gets asked of me by people that want me to teach them a little bit more on strategy, this, that, and the other, and they're struggling with certain points. And so they come up to me and they ask me, why can't I win? Well, now immediately two questions pop into my head. See, to me, there's usually two reasons why that is, okay? Now, the second one is a harder hurdle to overcome. It's the larger hurdle. Let's take a look at the first one real quick. The first reason why you might not be able to win or might not be winning right now is, are you playing correctly? Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean, are you playing ace-king specifically one way only, pocket deuces one way only, seven deuce always folding, which you probably should anyway. No. What I'm saying is, are you playing correctly? For example, let's say you have pocket aces. Flop comes out, 3 hearts on the board, but there's the ace of hearts, so now you have a set of aces. You bet out, Granny Moses across the table, who you know is a super tight player, would not be coming in with some weak thing, calls your bet. Turn cards, another heart, no pair on the board, so you still have your set of aces. You bet out, she calls again. River cards, a blank spade, no pairs on the board, you still have your trip aces. You bet heavy. She calls you. Sure enough, she turns over those 2 pretty hearts in her hand, and you lost. Well, you knew right from the gate when she made that call on the flop that she had to have hearts. At least 1, if not 2, and then when that 4th one came on 4th Street, you knew that she already had to flush. So that bet on the river is completely stupid. You're really shooting yourself in the foot there, bad play. So if that's what's happening, then you need to step back and reevaluate how you're playing. But let's just say, for example, that's not the case. You're folding when you're supposed to. You're raising when you're supposed to. You're playing the hands you should be playing. You're folding the hands you shouldn't be playing. You're doing what you should be doing. You're trying to do what needs to be done. And you're still losing. Okay? Your pairs ain't catching up with anything. You end up open-ended the whole way down and you still don't catch your straights. You end up with a 4 flush the whole way down. You still can't get it, even though everybody else is. And when you do catch your flush or you do catch your straight, you're second bested. Somebody's got the higher end than you. And you get a boat. Somebody got a yacht. Happens. So, you ask yourself, this is what's going on. Why can't I win? What is wrong with me? So then I turn around and I ask them and say, well, let me ask you a question. Okay? You're playing well. You're playing as you should. So why do you think you can't win? What do you think is happening that makes you think you can't win? And then I get all the fun answers. I get the answers such as, well, the dealer hates me. He knows Jimmy over there, but he hates me. Okay? Dealer doesn't like me. He's out to get me. Well, how about the poker gods? Yeah, I didn't go to church this morning, so I didn't pray. And yeah, the poker gods like when you do that. And if you don't do that, then they feel some type of way. So they're going to not help me because whatever. Or even better yet, my personal favorite. The cards physically hate me. Now, I know we hear that one a lot just in generalized speaking. But these people actually genuinely believe that these cards literally, physically hate them. They're out to get them too. Well, let's look at these real quick, okay? First off, it's not the dealer. The dealer the dealer could hate you, but the dealer has no control over what cards are coming out, okay? He doesn't, or she doesn't, okay? Yes, they might know Jimmy, might be friends with him, might have dated his sister in high school, who knows? Who knows where they know each other from? But you gotta remember, these dealers are people. They've got friends. Maybe they know Jimmy from coming in a lot more often. Maybe you're new at the casino and they're not. They've been coming here for 15 years. Who knows? Point is, the dealers don't even shuffle the cards anymore, so you can't even say, hey, he's stacking the deck. They use the automatic shufflers. So then you're going to say, oh, so those automatic shufflers are rigged. Well, no. That automatic shuffler ain't rigged against you because let's put it this way. The amount of work that would go into that. First off, you'd have to get to the company that's making them. Then you'd have to have somebody that knows how to rig that machine, And then you'd have to make sure that it gets to that table at that casino. And then you'd have to make sure that that dealer is at that table with that shuffler. And then you have to make sure that that player is in the correct seat for that shuffler with that dealer. You realize all that kind of work? Ain't nobody going through that for a poker game. Not happening. So it's not the shufflers. Okay, the shufflers actually do work too. I know they say, well, they don't shuffle well. They actually do. I questioned that before when the showboat first started using them. Shane and I were sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning. We were killing time. And they were using the automatic shufflers, breaking them in. And we looked at them. We told the pit boss, and we're like, yeah, we don't like these. You know, can't we just stick with the actual, hand shuffles, because we don't think they mix them well. So the pit boss goes over, grabs a brand new deck of cards, brings them over to the dealer, has them sign them in like they're supposed to, opens them up, spreads them out, and you can see that they're all in order, ace, 2, 3, 4, all the way up, suited the way they are as a brand new deck would be. And, the pit boss says, okay, now scoop them up, but don't shuffle them, because that sometimes they wash them. Well, he scoops them up without washing them, puts them in the machine, hits the button. 10, 15 seconds later, cards come up. He takes them out and just spreads them right out. You would have never known that was a brand new deck. It was shuffled that well. Okay? So the automatic shufflers really do work. So it's not that. Well, okay, it's the poker gods. The poker gods, they're going to probably hate me for this, but they're not real. Yes, it's something that we externalize, but they're not actually real. They're not out to get you. It's not about the fact that they like Mary's top. They think she's cute, so they're going to follow her, and you ugly. That's not a thing. And again, let's also go to the personal favorite. These cards hate me. They physically hate me. Well, that can't happen either. Okay? See, the cards themselves aren't live. They don't have a brain. They ain't got no thoughts. They ain't got no feelings. They ain't got no emotions. They don't hate you because they can't hate you. They're an inanimate object. Okay? They can't hate you. They can't like someone else. I know it seems that way with the way they come out, but ultimately all that is statistical probability. It has nothing to do with which cards like whoever. It's statistical probability. Even though it don't look like it, it is. So here's the real thing that I come back down to. The problem is not external. Let me say this again. It is not external. The problem is internal. Now let me explain to you what I mean by that, okay? You may or may not be aware, but we are all products of negative reinforcement. I know you're probably saying, not me, not me. Yes, you. Humankind. We are all products of negative reinforcement. Now I'm going to explain to you what I mean. They did a study a few years ago where they took two people to do a study. They took two groups of people, 50 in group A, 50 in group B, okay? Now, they asked them multiple questions to get to this conclusion. I'm only going to do one, okay? So they go to Group A, and they're like, hey, guys, guess what? We have a medical procedure. It's a 70% success rate. Would you do it? Sure, absolutely. They all pretty much signed on and said, yes, we would do that procedure. Sounds good. I'll take those odds. Come over here to Group B. Hey, Group B, we have a medical procedure. It's a 30% mortality rate. 30% of the time, you're going to die. Would you do it? Well, of course, they all say no. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. So they go back over to Group A. Hey, Group A, remember that medical procedure we told you about? You're aware that with that 70% success rate, there's a 30% mortality rate. 30% of the time, you ain't going to make it. You still want that crapshoot? You still want to try for it? Most of them still said yes. Most of them still wanted to take on that procedure with a 70% success rate. Come back over here to Group B. Hey, Group B, you're aware that with that 30% mortality, that means that there's a 70% chance you're going to survive. You're going to come out okay. 70% chance you're going to be all right. Would you try it now? Guess what? The majority of them still said they would not do it. Why? Because they were locked into the 30% mortality, and that 30% mortality, which was the first thing that was presented to them, holds stronger than 70% success rate. The same thing happens in poker, okay? Let me explain to you how this works and relates to poker, okay? First off, let's say bad things happen at work. Let's say you had a crappy day at work, okay? You just, whatever, your boss was just riding you like Seabiscuit, whatever. He didn't like whatever, okay? So you had a really bad day at work. You come home and it just gets compounded because you come home and your wife just, for whatever reason, she had a bad day at work, so she's just, nagging. Your significant other is just kind of in a mood too. So, of course, they start bickering, you start bickering, I'm just going to go out, get some fresh air. So you leave. You go to the casino, you sit down, you start playing. Boom, you just start losing left and right. Why? Because you're in a negative headspace, okay? You're in the wrong state of mind to be playing. Here's another example of how this affects you, okay? Let's say, for example, you had a great day at work, no problems. Your significant other was like, yes, you go, you have fun. I'm going to go have some drinks with the girls. You enjoy yourself, okay? Whatever the case may be. So everything outside of your poker life is great. You go, you sit down. Well, you have one of the worst days of your life. You can't catch anything. You can't catch a break if you fell out of a 10-story building, okay? All you're seeing is garbage. King deuce. Good old kibbles and bits, yes. Seeing jack 4, 10 deuce, 7 deuce. And when you do have the good hands, when you do have your ace king, pocket jacks, pocket 10s, queens, aces, everything gets cracked, everything gets beat up, you can't catch anything, okay? It all goes around. You end up with, a 4 flush, but you can't get there. You end up open-ended the whole way down, and you still can't get there. And then when you do get there, when you do catch that straight, when you do catch that flush, somebody else is second bested you. You end up at the low end. They got the high end, so you're losing again. You get a boat and you're excited and you're pushing. Somebody else has a fucking yacht. And you just get slapped around all day by the game. You leave. Tomorrow's another day. So you come back and you sit down tomorrow. It's now tomorrow. Again, you had a great day at work, no issues at work. Everybody was happy at work. Everybody, great day, smooth right along. Time flew by. Came home. The significant other was like, yes, go, have fun. Yeah, that's what you do for fun. I'm going to sit here and watch reality TV, whatever it is they do for fun. So, again, nothing external is messing with you. You get there and you sit down. You feel good about yourself. Like, okay, I'm going to turn this around. The first 5 hands you get, kibbles and bits. King deuce, gotta love it. Jack 5, can't win. Nothing, you're just seeing garbage. Okay? So then what happens? You immediately start remembering yesterday's negative experience, and you start thinking, well, here we go again. Another day where I'm just not going to catch anything. I don't even know why the hell I'm even bothering. I don't know why I'm trying. I'm not going to do this. This is just, nope, another day, just like, you must just take my money, that's it, I'm done. Okay? But here's the thing. Cards have no memory. What happened yesterday should have no effect on what happens today. Okay? In poker. Okay? If you have a bad day yesterday in poker, it doesn't mean you're going to have a continual bad day the next day and the next day. It might happen. But what you should do is sit down and take a look, and let's say take the year that you've played, okay? Mark down how many times you've won and how many times you've lost. Now, if you've lost more than you've won over that year, then yes, it's not just bad luck, as they would say. There's definitely some strategic issues that you're having. But if you're winning more than you're losing, why are you beating yourself up, okay? Why are you doing that? You're doing that because of the negative reinforcement. And you're not looking at the fact that you won all these times. You're looking at you lost these times. So that's going to take away from your ability to win more, because when you're in a negative headspace, you're not relaxed. And if you're not relaxed, you're not going to see what's going on around you. And if you can't see what's going on around you, you're going to make bad calls. You're going to make bad plays. And it's going to look like everything else is against you, when really the worst enemy at the table is you, is your mind. You need to get out of it. You need to stay positive with it. Okay? Because here's the beauty of this. You're probably not losing as much as you think you are. Okay? You're not. It just seems that way because we are products of negative reinforcement. Take them in stride. Take a look at Phil Hellmuth. I used to love watching him, in the early 2000s, and watching him blow up because people would call him and, with garbage hands just because it's Phil Hellmuth. And they call him and they play crap that they shouldn't be playing. Sometimes they played good hands too, but there's times that they play garbage they shouldn't be playing just to play against Phil to see if they can make him blow up. And it happens. And then you listen to Phil Hellmuth ranting and raving. And he's going on and on about how these donkeys shouldn't be calling him. They're just busting him up because it's Phil Hellmuth. I want to take a shot at the champ. Yeah, everything under the sun. But you know what you don't hear him say? You never hear him say, I'm the bad player. I shouldn't be here. I am the worst player at this table. You know why you don't hear that? Because he doesn't doubt himself. He might have a little bit of a negative opinion of the way these idiots might be playing against him, but he knows that he can't control that. You want those idiots at your table. You want those people that are going to play those garbage hands towards you. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but more times than not, you're going to win against them. I mean, not every time. They're going to get their lucky little catches, and they're going to think they're the greatest player on earth because they made a monster call with garbage and got lucky. You want that, okay? You want them making those calls because, again, more times than not, you're going to win when they try to play that way, okay? And Phil Hellmuth knows this, okay? Now, I also think that some of the times that he was blowing up was definitely more for just a show because people expected it, and they looked for it. Because he's actually a pretty calm individual, believe it or not. He's actually very down to earth, very calm. He actually, So, but I understand you get irritated at the table with dumb stuff. But here's the thing, okay? Don't be negative at the table. Don't be negative within yourself. Remember, there's nothing out there that's out to get you. You might not be having the luck you want to have. The cards might not be falling the way you want. But here's the thing, okay? You're not losing as much as you think you are. As long as you think